Brian Hummel here on some dry rocky caliche hillsides. I want to highlight something I threw in place, I don't know, a year or so ago. There was a lot of erosion coming down this, and I did a simple rock wall, but look at all the stuff it caught. All I did was put these rocks in place. They caught all the rest. They protected this little oak tree. They caught all of these rocks. So there's enough water on this little gully to move a rock that big. It's amazing. There's also enough water to almost certainly move that rock from here down. So, every once in a while you can come back and fix it. I'm certainly not a stone mason. I just threw them together. I didn't do anything special, but I held back a lot of soil. I'm going to revegetate this area, and you can do this process over and over and over and over in series. So when some of this stuff washes down, you can either make it wider, or you can come in a little bit further downhill and put in another one. The rocks aren't placed in any strategic pattern. So now if it's holding back soil, I wouldn't want to move that one. Look, that one's in place. If it's in place, I leave it. If it's loose, I grab it. But I like doing it with branches, because what you see on this landscape all around you, there's plenty and plenty of branches, and a lot of them are dead, and they're a lot longer than a rock. So I can get those branches and I can lay them down in a pattern. So if you follow me, you can see what the branches do, just naturally. I didn't put these branches here, they're just naturally there, but they're not there in a pattern. This little branch, look at all the soil it held back. You think this land's gonna be healthier over time? And if you were to burn that branch, you would have nothing there. It would just be ash. And all the energy would be released and not feeding these wonderful fungus. Look at these awesome fungus. I don't know what they are, but I know they're eating my wood. And that energy, not only does the structure keep more of your organic matter from washing away, but that energy is now going to provide energy to help restore this land for 24 years or more, versus piling it in a big pile and having a 24-year fire. So let's continue. The water here escapes very rapidly down this. You can see it's erosional. The water just comes and zigzags right back through there and goes into the creek fast. But you can also see some of the water ponds up here because you see microdetritus berms. So this is where the water wants to slow. So I'm going to come in this area right here over time. This is like a baseline video. I'm going to come in here. One of my next projects is to come in here and trim on these branches to get me down to a taller, straighter juniper tree. And I'm going to use those branches to basically be like the upland beaver. I want to stop the water. The water's leaving there. So you do beaver processes. You lie this down. I want to keep this tree absolutely. This is going to be another one of my earth anchors. And I wedge all the branches up in here. I wedge the branches in there. And now I'm going to take that water that's going to be at the creek in 100 meters. And I might push it 1,000 meters that way. Or, might push it 300 meters that way, and then pull it 300 meters back, and then push it 300 meters that way again, and then pull it 300 meters back. I'm going to put it in the river at the exact same place, but instead of going 100 meters, I'm going to go 1,500 meters. And so the drop in elevation, instead of being, say it drops X amount, it drops X amount in 100 meters, and it drops the same X amount in 1,500 meters, it's 1/15 the slope. So the water doesn't have nearly that much velocity to it anymore, and it slows down, and it's going to feed all of these trees. So I'm going to come and I'm going to take these branches out. Don't need that branch. It's not doing anything for the tree. I might just even, lay it down like that, and then come and put a log over it. Lay some of these branches down. I don't even have to cut them. Lay them down and set a log over it. So now what happens? So there's a big log right here, or some other branches right here. When the water comes down, it hits all of this, and that acts like one of my contour berm filters. And this is like, basically, imagine this as being a jawbone, and I'm adding a bunch of teeth. So as the water comes, because I'm not on contour, and because I'm eventually going to make this into an access road, I need to have enough space, and it has to go from point A to point B, and point A to point B is not perfectly on contour. So if it's not perfectly on contour, you want to leave these little check dams in here. You can drive right over that with a truck or a tractor. It's not going to slow anything down. And the water comes, and now you're going to filter it out. And within 2 years, we're going to come back and video the same spot. Within 2 years, there's going to be a huge pile of microdetritus, a huge pile of leaves, a huge pile of seeds, and all of these trees, instead of having You know, instead of having 3 inches of new growth, this same exact tree, instead of having 3 inches of new growth, is going to have 15, 18 inches of new growth. The difference is astounding. You can unlock the growth potential of your plants if you just give them a little bit more water. I'm not changing the soil at all. If you amend the soil, you could probably have 2 feet of new growth. All I'm doing is giving a little bit more water because we live on the edge of a desert. And whatever they don't use soaks into the ground. Instead of immediately washing off and causing a flood, it soaks into the ground and gives me aquifer recharge, which then sends water back to my creek for weeks and weeks and weeks after the rain. It just makes sense. Follow me a little bit further. So all of this area is going to have a berm along the side, and here where it's more open, I can get as close to contour as I can. And if it starts getting too much off of contour, I pull the branches up. So I don't want to disturb I don't want to disturb this oak canopy. I can bring some of the branches up and make a little catch. So when the water comes in, I make like a bigger tooth, which will pond this up. And when it flows around, I catch it again on a slightly lower level. So this berm will catch. And then a little bit further down, this berm will catch. And a little bit further down, that berm will catch. All you have to do is go downhill. Thanks for watching, guys.